We are working on our Acorn Squash Pie for tomorrow.
Welcome back to Cook with OTK at our Thanksgiving camp out.
That's right. So we're gonna go ahead and start that off. It's an easy pie. We're using acorn squash instead of pumpkin or sweet potatoes. And we really found that makes an awesome pie. But first we're gonna make our puree, so we have to cook off our acorn squash. And it's really simple. So let's get started. First thing, take your acorn squash and I'm gonna cut it in half. There we go, get through that stem. And then just going to clean out the seeds.
And you could save these and make them just like pumpkin seeds, but we're just gonna toss them.
Yeah, get all that stuff out. And we're just gonna we're gonna lightly season these and then we're gonna bake them off for about 30, 45 minutes. Yeah. Until they're nice and soft and we can pull out all the goodness.
Get all the
meat.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for.
So we're gonna throw in a tablespoon of butter in each of them.
In each half? Just
because we want to flavor our acorn squash while we bake them. And this, you bake it like this, you can just pull it out and have it as a side.
Yeah, you definitely could.
It's really great. And so to that, just gonna take some sugar, just using a little cane sugar, but you could use brown sugar, is really awesome. We're just gonna sprinkle it over.
It's a pretty day today.
It is a beautiful day. And just a little bit of salt. Not too much salt, but you need a little salt to balance things out.
Is this a sea salt?
Yeah, it's just a coarse sea salt. Cool. And, well, that's really all you need to do.
Yeah, that's the first step. We just gotta throw this bad boy in the oven.
Now, because I put the sugar in, I don't want the sugar to burn over caramelize. I'm just gonna tint this with foil before I throw them in. And that should protect them.
Yeah, keep that moisture in and it won't caramelize.
That'll help them cook a little faster. So we're gonna throw that in our little makeshift oven. Put that in there. Like I said, we're gonna let that go for probably about 45 minutes to an hour until everything's nice and soft. And now we're gonna work on a little pie crust. And I will say we did cheat. We bought a pie crust, but we're gonna cook it off first. And we're just gonna
make sure you weigh it down that way.
Yes. I'm gonna put our parchment down in it to trim off the excess. And we got our pie weights, which are just some old red beans.
And that's just so your dough doesn't puff up and you can still fit your fillings inside.
Oh, got something in my eyeball.
That's not good. Looks like you got your finger in there.
All right, so our pie weights are in. And now we're just gonna bake this off for about 15 minutes as well. Yeah. All right, and then once all that is done, see, it's nice having this big oven.
It is.
But once we get all that done, then we'll peel out the puree and we'll start making our pie. That is the next step.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you in just about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Or I guess you'll see us right now.
All right, well, our acorn squash and pie crust is out of the oven, so we're gonna get started on the rest of the pie. And the first thing is we gotta pull all those guts out of the squash.
Exactly.
And we also flipped them over halfway through the cooking. Hopefully, it'll turn out all bueno. Squash. And yeah, see, you can use a spoon, but I like my natural spoons. And we just need a total of 2 cups. See how easy that comes out? Since we kind of pre-seasoned it, it already has a nice little sweetness to it. All right.
There we go.
And I'll just pull a little more out. We don't need these guys, but we can save them for later.
Or if you want to make more than one pie, you just double the recipe.
Yeah.
Which comes out to an acorn squash. Time to make the pie filling.
First, we gotta get our pie weights
back in.
Yes. There we go. We always use these. I know you can buy pie weights and the ceramic ones and all this, but I have found, I watched my Grandma Honey just use the same dry beans. They just put it in a separate bag and they know those are my pie weights.
And technically, those are baked beans.
So we have our little pre-done pie crust. Yes, we probably should have made our own pie crust, but since we're out camping,
yeah, I mean, you don't
always
make
it easy.
Yeah, you don't always have to make it from scratch. It is always better, but sometimes it's just easier.
I just want to get it in order so I know how I like to organize it.
It's a good way to do it.
1/3 cup of just a good sugar. We're using a cane sugar.
Perfect.
You can use brown sugar, but I decided to use just regular sugar today. And then a teaspoon of cinnamon, which I really love this. We're going to move down to our 1/2 teaspoon measurements.
Perfect.
And we have just a regular salt, just kind of a kosher salt. You could use a table salt. Our ground ginger, Gonna do half a teaspoon of ground ginger. Now our quarter. See, that's why I like to organize them and stuff them.
That's a good idea. It keeps it nice and orderly.
Quarter teaspoon of ground clove. And then one of my favorite spices is nutmeg. And doing a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. And I will tell you guys, the sugar, the spices, and the liquid, everything but the squash. You can substitute sweet potatoes, you can substitute pumpkin.
Yep.
This is a great base of a pie that you want to make with pumpkin, acorn squash. I want to try it with the butternut squash, sweet potatoes, because all you need is 2 cups of the puree and then this base.
So that's really cool. You can basically make any kind of pie with this recipe.
Yeah, that's why I love this recipe so much. So we're just gonna give this a little whisk, get it all incorporated. Love that smell.
Oh, yes.
Now that we got our sugar nice and mixed up, we're going to add to it 2 eggs and then 1 egg yolk. I like to use my hands. Should I put on 2 gloves? Nope, there it goes. I guess I'll wash my hands. All right, so we have our 2 eggs and our 1 egg yolk, and we are gonna give our little wireless guy a try again because we used them with mashed potatoes. Didn't work out that great.
It did not work out very well, but this time we know 100% sure we charged it.
So basically gonna cream that. All right, we got that going. And then to that, we're going to add 2/3
of a cup
of a sweetened condensed milk.
Ooh.
All right, well, that's probably good. Now, after that, we're gonna do 1/3 cup of heavy cream. And this is why we didn't use the brown sugar, because we knew we were gonna add a little maple. So 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And our little bee friend was like, ooh, that smells good.
Syrup.
Is that honey? No, it's maple. Yeah, that bee really wants this pie. And then lastly, well, not lastly, the squash is lastly, but 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Perfect.
All right, we're just gonna give this a little whisk. Just get that a little incorporated, and now we're going to take 2 cups of our squash. That's why I still wanted the spoon. Mix her down.
Cup number 1. Wow, that turned out like almost the perfect amount. Good job. It's almost like you know what you're doing.
I know, it's like I've made this a couple times, and this is delicious. All right, now
here's the real test for that mixer.
Yes, will it go in the trash can after this, or will we keep using it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right, it's working, okay. Just not for mashed potatoes.
Yeah, mashed potatoes might have been a little too thick for it, so.
Yeah, that looks.
There you go, that's pretty well combined. Man, look at that.
That is good. I know there's raw egg, but you got it, that's good. All right, shut the front door, I'm done. I would just eat that.
Yeah, just throw that in a glass and now it's the fun part.
You should take a little taste. Those eggs were pasteurized.
Yeah. That's really good.
Can you believe it's an acorn squash?
No, you really wouldn't think that's acorn squash.
Now we got a deep dish pie crust. And we're just gonna fill her up. And of course we're not
really on a level surface, so.
Right here, there we go. Now, I'm gonna get a sheet pan, put that on, and then we got our oven set to 325, and we're gonna bake this for 1 hour.
Alrighty guys, well we'll see you in 1 hour.
Indeed we will.
We'll try some pie.
Right. That.
Check that out, guys.
Man, it smells so good, and I'm so mad we have to wait till tomorrow before we can eat it.
I know.
Although, if you can see, I did take a little.
Did you taste it?
So, and it's delicious. I'm telling you what, acorn squash pie should be a huge thing.
It should be a thing. We're trying to make it a thing.
Yes, this turned out beautiful, even in a store-bought crust, but the filling is what's important. And I guarantee you, if you try this one, you will love it.
Yes, you will.
Now, we're just gonna let this rest, and since we're not using it till tomorrow for our big Thanksgiving dinner, we're gonna just let it rest. It'll kind of fall down, flatten out, level out.
Yep.
And we're gonna make some whipped cream in the mason jar to put on top.
Our mason jar whipped cream. Super easy.
Oh yes, and it'll go perfect with this pie. So just give it a try. Remember to like, subscribe,
comment, hit the little bell. And remember, you can find our recipes at outdoortestkitchen.org.
Yeah, or in the description below.
Yes, you can.
So remember, just give it a try. It's a really awesome, easy pie. And your family will love it, and your friends will love it.
Oh yeah, and you will love it.
Most definitely. So all right, guys, remember, keep camping and keep cooking.
Yeah.